Hello, everyone. Can I get a round of applause? I guys like that song, right? That song's pretty fire. Anyway, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for taking the time out of your day and being here with us to hear what God has in store for you, what God has in store for your family, so that you may tell your family what you have learned, what God has in store for this world, because you can go out and share to the world through this message. And I just, once again, thank you so much for coming. We are all tired, but I pray that tonight or this momentary moment that you may be powerful and impactful and anointing by the God that I'm about to introduce, and his name is Briscoe.
Okay, guys, so thank you guys for being here at the Unashamed meeting today. I'm not going to take too much time today because I know we've got some other things to do, but I'm going to try to keep it a short message today. I remember, I remember when I was in middle school, and in middle school, we can start to tell like that rap music was going to start to like dominate the music industry, right? So, and of course, like rap music has been here like since the 90s or something, you know, like Tupac, Biggie, all those different artists. And so it was like hip hop, R&B, and rap music. And then in middle school, we kind of tried to see, and we could tell that, you know, it would be like trap music and mostly, you know, rap in the music industry, right? So I remember it was probably like 2012, 2013, this dude named 2 Chainz came out with this song, and you're here in a Christian meeting, so you probably don't know who 2 Chainz is. If you listen to Chainz, you know, this is what you're listening to right now. Oh, so gotta lay hands on him. So I remember during this time with 2 Chainz, he was really big, and he had this song out called I'm Different. And everybody, like, that was like a real popular song. And they were playing it like everywhere, like even at the pep rallies, at the formals, the dances, they were playing I'm Different, yeah, I'm different. Everybody, oh, I'm different, oh, I'm different, oh yeah, this is my song. And everybody was so happy. And they were talking about how different they were. And that song gave everybody confidence to be different. Okay, this song gave everybody confidence to be different. And during that time when 2 Chainz, you know, was real popular, they used to call me No Chains because I didn't have a chain. I didn't have a chain though, so that's what they used to call me. But anyways, so 2 Chainz was talking about not being afraid of being different. And in my life, I've had a problem and being ashamed of being different, okay? I was different, and I am different. I'm not like everybody else. And you too are different. You too are different. Go to the two sides. So, you too are different. Okay, you two are different, okay? And I'm gonna put stuff on the PowerPoint so that you can write down today. So you two are different. You're different. Who comes to a Bible meeting on a Monday after school? That's pretty different. For you to come here today after school, this dude, he's in college, and he came back to his old high school just to come and get a lesson today. Who does that? A person that is different, okay? We are different. Every single one of us in here are different. Next, this dude. So, right here, I want you to know that in life, every one of us in life, we're going to be tempted to give up who we are to be what others think we should be. Okay? In life, we're going to be tempted to give up who we are to be what other people think that we should be. So somebody probably after this meeting or tomorrow or something this week, somebody be like, man, so where were you after school today? Well, I was at the Unashamed meeting. I was at a Bible club meeting. Oh, really, man? You really do that Unashamed stuff? You really do that Bible stuff? Like, come on, like, isn't that like a white man's religion? Like, really, you believe in Jesus? Come on. And then you're going to be tempted to give up who you are so that you can be what others think you should be. Oh, well, I don't even know if I really believe in all that church stuff. You know, my mama, she made me go to church every Sunday. I don't know too much about that anyways. And you're going to be tempted to give up who you are to be what others think you should be. So we're going to be talking today. The topic today is going to be focusing on how do we stand firm in our faith in an ungodly culture, okay? And our motto is going to be Daniel. So Daniel chapter 1, verse 1 through 6 is what we're going to read, and I'm going to break it down and try to read it so that every one of us kind of understands this. But Daniel chapter 1, verse 1 through 2 says, in the third year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. Okay, so he came to Jerusalem, he attacked it, he conquered it, and the Lord delivered Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, along with some of the articles from the temple of God. These he carried off to his temple, into the temple of his God in Babylonia, and put in the treasure house of his God. Okay, and then it reads, then the king Nebuchadnezzar ordered Ashpenaz. Ashpenaz was kind of like his right-hand man. He was the chief of his court officials, to bring into the king's service some of the Israelites from the royal family and the nobility. So he's going to get these people in, and he's going to make the Israelites, the people that he just captured, he's going to make these people slaves, okay? But he says, okay, all of these people, they're going to be slaves, but I'm going to get some people to serve in the palace. And these were the type of people that he's going to get to serve in the palace. He's going to get young men without any physical defect, handsome. Okay, this kind of sounds like me right here, the person that you're looking at. So he said, I need guys in the palace that are without any kind of physical defect, handsome, showing aptitude for every kind of learning, well-informed, quick to understand, and qualified to serve in the king's palace. He was to teach them the language and the literature of the Babylonians. So now they're here from Jerusalem, from where they were at their hometown, and now they're here in Babylonia, and now they're about to get a new culture in them, okay? And then it says, the king assigned them a daily amount of food and wine from the king's table. They were to be trained for 3 years, and after that, they were to enter the king's service. Among those who were chosen were some from Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So we're going to use today for the title of this message, the 2 Chainz song, but we're going to call it Dare to Be Different. That's the name of this message today. Dare to be different, okay? Dare to be different, okay? So, real quick. So, have you guys ever applied for a job before? Raise your hand if you ever applied for a job before. And you wonder, like, I applied for the job and they didn't call me back. They didn't call you back because they did something on you called a background check. And they found out that you had some stuff going on. How you a 14-year-old convicted felon, you got caught in the store, robbing the store for some honey buns, man. Some zebra cakes or something. And so that's why they didn't call you back, because they did a background check on you. And so we're going to do a background check real quick on Daniel, okay? It was like, look, he got nervous back there. He got nervous. Man, they doing the background check on me. I had a rough week last week. 2017 was rough for me. But I'm going to do a background check on Daniel, because sometimes I wonder, God, how do you expect me to stand firm in my faith? How do you expect me to be a Christian and stand godly in this ungodly world? Really, like, all of the kids in my class, they're already sexually experienced. A lot of them are already dating and doing a lot of stuff. A lot of them are moved out of the house, and a lot of them are out of the state. And I started to compare myself to a lot of other kids that are my age, because I was like, man, God, I'm not really doing like them, and I was comparing myself to them, and I was wondering, God, how do you expect me to live right in this world that mocks you, not really feeling you, they really don't believe in you, and they make fun of Christians, man, let me act like I'm falling out in the spirit. They think that stuff is funny. They put it all on social media and stuff, and they make fun of Christians. And I'm wondering, how do I stand firm in my faith in a world like this, okay? So let's do a fast background check on Daniel. So Daniel, he was a Jew. Just like we read, he was taken to a place called Babylonia, okay? So Babylon, that's where he was taken to by King Nebuchadnezzar after he defeated their city. And Daniel was in exile, and this took place in 605 BC, okay? So I'm kind of boring you with some information here, because I'm a Bible nerd. So Daniel had to leave his homeland. He had to leave everything that he knew to go to Babylonia, which we just read here in the scripture. Now, do you guys like remember like first coming to high school, right? It was different, wasn't it? Like you were just like in elementary, then you were in middle school, and now you're here, and it took you guys a while to adjust. Like raise your hand if it kind of took you a while to adjust, you know, like your freshman year. But okay, then raise your hand if it took you some time to adjust to lion. If you got a lion spirit, you know, so you got a lion spirit over here. But anyways, it took us some time to adjust to high school. We were just in middle school. We knew everybody. Our classes was pretty much right there. Now there's like 3 or 4 buildings here where you gotta go to and get to your classes at on time and all this stuff. It was different, and this is what Daniel was like. He was going to Babylon and to a place that he didn't know. And so Nebuchadnezzar was the person, the leader that he had to serve under. And Nebuchadnezzar, he was a pagan god. Okay, so Daniel has to kind of maintain his Jewish faith in a culture where the leader was a pagan. So what is a pagan? A pagan, if you want to write this down, a pagan doesn't belong to a widely held religion. Okay, this is straight online dictionary. You can look this up. A pagan does not belong to a widely held religion. They're not a Christian, not a Jew, and not a Muslim. Okay, so they just like the common religions that we have here. A pagan does not belong to any of those religions, those popular religions that are out here today. They are simply what the online says. I'm not saying this, but this is exactly what they are. They are heathens, and they are non-believers. It's a heathen, a non-believer, and they are idolatrous. They worship false gods, man-made gods, and they worship those. Okay, so Daniel had to live right. He had to live right in a culture that was worshiping false gods. Okay, so Daniel. Some scholars say that Daniel was around the age of 16 to 18 years old. So he was around our age when he was here in Babylonia. Okay, so he was our age, and he was trying to live right. He was a young believer. He was a young man of God who was trying to live in a world that didn't believe in, acknowledge, or honor his God. And this kind of sounds like the story of my life, or the story of pretty much all of our lives. So the challenge of a young Christian, he listened to the 2 Chainz, I'm different. He was like, I ain't heard that one before. So he pulled it up. I thought I knew all the 2 Chainz on that. Now he's looking it up. The challenge of a young Christian is trying to live holy in an ungodly world. That's the challenge for us as Christians, okay? So like we read, Nebuchadnezzar, he had ordered Ashpenaz to go get some young men with certain abilities and all that stuff to serve in the king's service. And those men that were chosen was Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Okay, and these guys, they were new to the culture, and the culture tried to indoctrinate them. Okay, and these young believers, like I said in the opening statement, that they were going to be tempted to give up who they were, so that they could be what others wanted them to be. Okay, these young believers, they were going to be tempted to give up their faith in God to try to fit in. Okay, and the world is seeking us Christians to try to influence us. Okay, the world is seeking Christians to influence so that we can abandon our faith in God. Okay, now I want to expose the culture of this world. I'm not that type of guy that comes up with, like, y'all are on YouTube and y'all watch like these conspiracy theories, like and you see like all these different conspiracy theories, and I'm like, oh man, look at the dollar bill, look at the dollar bill. It's right there, it's proof right here. Satanic warnings and the Incredibles too. You know, like what the heck? And so there's something conspiracy out there, but I'm going to expose. The Bible talks about the culture of the world. Don't conform to the culture of this world, but be transformed by the